Welcome to Table Talk at the Mud. I'm Justin.
I'm Alex.
First off,
Bitch all night.
can we start by talking about how furry you've become?
I tried getting a haircut. It was booked. It was booked.
Oh, it's so like some unique crunchy. It's like you're frozen, but you're warm.
Oh my gosh.
Today we are going to be going over five interesting theories, conspiracy theories, and we're going to give our take on it. We're going to have a beer between each one and see how interesting they can become. Actually, they're all pretty interesting. So today we're going to be going over, well, you know what? I'll save that for the list. So, number 5.
Number 5.
Let's talk about number 5.
Down?
Yeah, we're going down the list to the number 1.
Okay.
I think this one should be number 1, but I figured we should start off on like a nice, like go into
interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple. It's not sad or anything like that.
Yeah.
Number 5, Prince Charles is a vampire. Hear me out. He's a direct descendant of Vlad the Impaler, otherwise known as Dracula. So he's not the actual Dracula, he is the basis for Dracula. Obviously, if he was the actual Dracula, he would be called Dracula, not Vlad the Impaler. But the character Dracula is based off of Vlad the Impaler.
Tell him why.
That being said...
Tell him why.
That being said, you tell him why. You tell him why. He was a pretty sick dude. You know, his name says like it is. He impaled people on stakes, and pikes, and
but they went out the mouth.
I think he took their head off and put them on pikes. I think that's what he did.
I think he got the whole body, went through the butt, came out the mouth.
Or is this in one of your dreams? One of your lowly nights?
My lonely nights. That's what I think about?
Yeah.
Damn, I messed up.
I'm gonna get impaled by Vlad. I'm sorry. This is I should have said that and I apologize. Okay, so let's go further into this. He is related to Vlad the Impaler, and who is the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula, and many royals. Don't wanna be royal. Okay, many royals in Charles' bloodline were known to have a disease called porphyria. Porphyria, hopefully I said that correctly, is an iron deficiency that causes people to be sensitive to sunlight. An iron deficiency, otherwise known as a form of anemia. Low in blood. So he's got all the characteristics, all the trademarks for being a vampire. Prince Charles, come at us. Let us know, are you a vampire?
Bro, dude's just trying to live his life.
He's
fucking over here. He's a fucking vampire.
Another vampire? Whatever. Anyways, let's move on to number 4. Number 4! Princess Diana's death.
Oh man, we took a turn.
I know, we took a turn.
It was dark.
I remember this. Do you remember this?
What?
1997.
You were 7.
Yeah, you don't remember it? It was all over the news.
No,
This
I was
went on
probably having
all
a good
year.
childhood.
My parents watched this. Like, they were invested.
They're like, hey, get in here.
They were,
Go play your
they
Nintendo.
were like, well, I mean, like, you seriously didn't watch this? It was over you could not turn on the TV without seeing coverage of Princess Diana's death.
I don't know, I might have, but
It was like the biggest thing of the year.
I had good childhood memories.
Oh, gosh. Anyways, in 1997, August 31st, 1997, Princess Diana was killed in a tunnel in a car wreck. It is said that this was a conspiracy. A billionaire promoting it, his name is Mohammed Al-Fayed.
Al-Fayed.
Mohammed Al-Fayed. He's the father of Dodi Al-Fayed, who was killed along with Princess Diana in the car. What do they say? They're saying that this is the British government that assassinated her.
I can see it. I never trusted him. Never.
Isn't that crazy?
Nope. It's all relevant.
So on April 7th, 2008, the coroner's jury concluded that Diana and Al-Fayed were unlawfully killed due to the negligence of their drunken chauffeur pursuing paparazzi. But this is all still being debated on whether that's fact or fiction.
Still.
Yeah, still people still believe that Princess Diana's death was planned.
So long ago.
Yeah, no, 1997. That's not that long ago. I mean, Prince Charles.
That's
He's been a vampire for 2,000 years.
Okay.
I mean, so there's that.
True.
Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Let's go to number 3.
Three.
Number 3!
Come on!
Carry the 1, it's a 2. I did the math, it's a 3! Number 3, Roswell. Okay, so this is a big thing in the United States. There was a suspicious crash in 1947, and they say that this was aliens that crashed in Roswell. It was covered up by the government, and the government did actually get alien corpses from the crash and take them to military bases. First off, I want to get your view on this.
It's real.
It's real?
They're aliens.
And why do you think that?
Because there's so much like Navy footage and stuff of like aircrafts and like that they can explain. I mean,
True. But I have two things on this. One, the universe is huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
The odds of aliens existing is very good. It's likely.
More likely than not.
It's plausible, right? It's very likely. That being said, they have not been detected in a travelable distance from Earth, which, not saying that they couldn't do it. There's ways to manipulate gravity to move through time warps. There's gravitational theory. There's things like that that could, blah, blah, blah. The universe is so vast. The odds, first off, the odds of life even existing is slim because it's such a, everything has to be perfect. But if life existed, the odds of it being intelligent is even slimmer. Because then it has to go through evolution, it has to, all the things have to happen. Then, that life form has to seek us out. And then they have to find us, and visit us, and not make contact, and go back. Like, do all that. Like, it's just...
You ever seen Transformers?
Transformers. This is your... Transformers, this is what you're going on.
You basically explained Transformers.
I believe in aliens. But I just believe that the plausibility of them actually making it to our universe, not our universe, our solar system, and our planet, and seeking us out just to pop in and float around in the sky for a little bit, I think it's a low probability.
What if like aliens they just travel around, anyone can own a flying saucer in their universe. What if like fucking Joe Dirt and John or some shit where there's just like two hillbillies in a saucer, because anyone can own a saucer. It's like owning a car here, and they just made a wrong turn off a highway or something. They ended up here. There's two drunk aliens.
Okay. Now,
I'm trying to pitch a movie here.
This is all right. Okay, so that could happen for sure, but you're talking about I think people forget how long a light year is.
Yeah, but maybe it's not long to them. Maybe they figured out you just open up a wormhole and just travel wherever you want to go.
But even then, the universe is so vast, that for them to pick the right wormhole to go to us, it's 1 in a quadrillion.
You ever seen Star Trek?
Okay, dude. So that's one thing. The second thing that I lean even heavier on why I don't think that this happened is that is exactly where most of the Air Force bases in the United States were at that time, and at that time we were experimenting with different aircraft. The space race wasn't far from that. And I do think that they were flying things that maybe people still don't know about. That happens all the time. And why would the government say nah, man, we were flying around nukes? They'd be like, no, go ahead, believe in aliens for a little bit while we develop our nuclear program. That's even more plausible.
I have no comeback.
I'm just saying, those two things, the likely, I think I want to make it clear, aliens do exist. I think so. I just don't think that they visit us. That being said, I also think that this is very plausible that this is just the government letting us believe something and just letting it, distract us from what they're actually doing.
Alright, so side note. How do you think the pyramids were built?
This is, so, the Egyptian pyramids has been solved. There is data on that. I don't want to comment on it because I didn't read the article on how it was, but it is what it is. Now, there is pyramids in different countries that have popped up that has been more suspicious, like the Mayans obviously did pyramids, and I mean, there's different villages in different parts of the world. There's actually pyramids in Asia, in Russia. Yeah. I mean, they're everywhere, all from similar time periods. So that is suspicious, but it could be as simple as that's just what we did at that time period.
Built them.
Like, pyramids was our shit at that time period. I mean, every generational time period, we have something that we're super interested in, and at that time period, pyramids was it. Like, we're just fucking like, that's dope pyramid, John. Like,
thanks.
So, yeah, man. I mean, pyramids.
Okay. I'm just curious.
I'm not trying to seem like I've solved it all. These are my theories on these things. I do think pyramids are cool. I think that they hold a value that we don't know about, but do I think aliens came and built it? I mean, what function would that do? Why would they build us pyramids?
I don't know, because they aligned with, like...
Would we build them pyramids?
No.
Exactly.
Pyramids.
So why would we build them pyramids and they, like, it doesn't make sense.
Whatever.
I just think it's not plausible that Roswell happened. I think it's cool as shit. If you haven't gone to Roswell, go to Roswell. It is super cool. It's an alien town, and I think it's the coolest thing ever, and I'm super into it. I love it. Visit Roswell. That's enough about Roswell. No, I think it's a great place. It's a great place.
Interesting.
Let's go to...
Number two.
Number two.
Quattro!
Two!
Oh,
No,
number four.
Number two! Alright, this one I think is actually really cool. I find this one super interesting. The Titanic didn't actually sink. Hear me out.
Hear me out, guys.
I totally get it. I think that a ship sank.
Nice.
Right? It looked like the Titanic. I think that event actually happened. I don't want to discredit any of the victims that occurred that night. That was a horrific event, and it really did happen. Now, was that ship the Titanic? That is up for debate. Now, so there was the White Star Line, which owned the Titanic, and two other ships. They were built not to look like the Titanic, but they were built in similar fashion. One of the ships actually incurred damage on its maiden voyage, and a few other, I think it had a few other mishaps. That being said, it is a theory that the names were switched and the Titanic never went on that maiden voyage, and the replacement ship, the other ship that was damaged, was actually the one that took the Titanic's maiden voyage. So that it would crash and they would get the insurance money to pay for the damages from the ship. That is a serious theory. That is real. Now, another thing to substantiate that claim is that the richest people of that time period were on that ship. They were on their way to the United States, and most of them, if not all of them, were all competitors of the White Star Line in some way. There were prominent members of White Star Line that were supposed to be on that ship that canceled their tickets before the maiden voyage. So they did not, they weren't a part of the event. That is suspicious in its own. the insurance claims today, that would be under investigation.
Oh yeah,
That would be enough for an
that's sketch,
investigation.
man.
So I mean, it is sketchy. It's plausible. It could be that the Titanic never sank. Now, does that make the event any less valuable? Absolutely not. Right? 1,500 people died. Terrible event. A ship sank. Whatever ship is down there, terrible. I mean, that was horrible.
Did it hit an iceberg?
Yep, hit an iceberg. That really happened. All of that happened. The only thing is was it the actual Titanic? Who gives a shit? A ship sank.
But they sent it out knowing it was gonna sink, right? To make the insurance claim?
There are a lot of things that happened, like the I can't remember this directly, but the watchman, he was either fired or didn't show up for a shit or something like that, and he had the only keys to the binoculars. Or someone who canceled their trip had the only keys to the binoculars that would have allowed them to see the iceberg, and it locked it up in his locker, so they didn't have binoculars. So the people who were actually supposed to look out didn't have anything to look out with. They were using their eyes.
Alright.
In the night.
In the night.
Yeah, so that was pretty terrible. So there was that. There was the people canceling their trip. There was not having lifeboats. That morning they canceled the, what do you call it? Not rehearsal. The drill. They canceled, that for some reason.
Sketch,
I mean,
man.
there's a
That's
lot
sketch.
of things that led up to. It's suspicious. That's very suspicious. And White Star Line actually did get a pretty handsome insurance claim for that ship. There are people still to this day whose family members are getting checks from White Star Line. Now they're for like $5 or something like that because of the change in currency, but not change in currency, inflation.
Do they give the victims' families money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, the victims' family.
They're still getting it?
Yeah, they're still getting it. Yeah, they're still
Yeah.
yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Mm.
So, did the Titanic sink? I think it might be plausible that it didn't. But it doesn't matter. A ship sank.
Which
people
side
died.
do you lean on more?
I think that it's likely that's some shitty shit that people do.
Well, yeah.
That's some shitty shit that people do. It's likely.
Especially back then where you get away with that a
Yeah,
lot easier.
I would have taken that to court if it was a trial lawyer. I would have
yeah.
taken that to court for
Yeah.
sure. I think it's suspicious. I think it's a shitty thing that people do. Yeah.
It's like a real shitty thing.
Yeah. Now, again, I want to point out that does not discredit the event that occurred that day. That was a horrible event. There is a ship at the bottom of the ocean. 1,500 people died. Many more traumatized. That was terrible, and that event is real. And if you want to remember that as the Titanic, as the Carpathia, as whatever you want to remember it as, that's fine. It's just the name we're debating, not the actual sinking of the ship. So, yeah. Do I think it's possible? Absolutely. Because people are shitty, and that's something the shitty people do.
Sure.
Number one!
Oh,
This is my favorite conspiracy theory.
It's fucked up.
This is something that I follow every year. I follow it every year. I followed this since I was a kid. I've seen many people's different views on it. I've drawn my own conclusions as viewed other people's conclusions.
Still updates coming?
There are still updates coming on this. This is in my opinion, the most controversial conspiracy of all American history.
Not wrong.
I think it is. So this conspiracy is the Kennedy assassination. This one is a doozy. Hold on for this one. I mean, I'm serious. This is the coolest freaking thing. And if you've seen OG Table Talk, the one where we did the Halloween episode, we went to Lee Harvey Oswald's grave.
Oh, yeah.
Super cool. Check that out if you haven't seen it. It's really awesome. But let's get to the facts. Facts. John F. Kennedy was shot in 1963 in Dallas, right in front of the book depository. Not deposit. Yeah, depository. Not suppository. Depository building. There's a lot of facts with this. Was Oswald the lone gunman? It seems more likely that he wasn't. There was a lot of people that were gunning for Kennedy's spot.
Damn man.
Especially Johnson. It's suspicious. It is suspicious. Because, all right, so Oswald was a known Soviet empathizer. He would have been a perfect selection to be a patsy. It would have been ideal. He had the resume for it, which makes him even less likely. Right? He's so likely that he's not likely. Do I think Oswald was a part of it? Absolutely. I think that he was a pawn in a scheme that was bigger than himself. It was very suspicious. He planned it out perfectly. The shots he took were perfect. If you watch the video from the Zapruder film, this is where it's fucking insane. So there's 3 shots in the Zapruder film. The first one, pow, it's obvious, right? That's obviously, a gunshot. The second 2 shots were like pow, pow. Like super close together, right? Lee Harvey Oswald was using a bolt-action Italian rifle. Like, no way he could friggin' pow, pow. Like, it was literally that fast. It was really fast. So, that's suspicious on its own. If you go to Dallas, Texas, which is where we're from, so we've been there, we've been to this area before. You can see the X's on the road. If you go there, you'll see there's little dings, like bullet marks in the sidewalk, and people will tell you about that. First off, if you do go to these spots, know that you will encounter conspiracy theorists. Tons of them. And they will be all preaching a different conspiracy. Everybody has their different ideas. And for good reason. This shit is fucking crazy, right? The President of the United States was killed by a dude leaning on some books in a fucking museum or depository building across the street, which was, first off, crazy. There's that. Second off, the guy was caught in a movie theater after killing a few more cops on the way. And then when he was transferred from jail, which was another crazy thing, why didn't they just hold him? Nope, they decided to transfer him. A known man who has mob ties shot him on the way. And just walked up with a gun, like nobody checked him, nothing, just pulled out a revolver and shot him right then. And nobody, that's crazy. Right? This guy was a bar owner in Dallas with known mob ties, and he shot the only known assassin of John F. Kennedy.
Did he get in trouble for that?
He was in jail.
For how long?
He died.
Oh, did he?
In jail, yeah.
Because I thought they would have held him as a hero.
For killing...
The person killed...
No, they were upset because Oswald should have gone to trial.
Yeah, but I mean...
Because Oswald didn't go to trial, Kennedy's assassination's never been solved.
So he's never proven guilty or not. So.
Well, so they do. There was the Warren Commission. There was the Warren Commission that did deem that Oswald was a lone assassin. But there's so much controversy in that, and there's so many things pointing otherwise, and even that trial itself was suspicious. The facts that were presented, the facts that weren't allowed to be presented, was suspicious. Then on top of all of this is where it gets super weird. The magic bullet theory. The magic bullet theory is the craziest theory that's ever existed in all of humanity. So Lee Harvey Oswald shot 3 shots, right? Boom, boom. The third one was fatal. The third shot was said to go through John F. Kennedy, right? Through his neck, right? Out into his wrist. Out through his wrist, into the seat of the governor. Through the seat of the governor, into the governor. Right?
What?
Yeah. It's a crazy trajectory for a bullet. It's insane. That being said, there's another weird thing about these bullets. When John F. Kennedy was laying on a gurney in Parkland Hospital in Dallas, someone walked by. I can't remember who it was. It's significant. You should figure out who it was. I should know who it was. found the bullet laying next to John F. Kennedy. Unscathed. No marks on the bullet at all. Laying next to him. And it was just accepted that that's the bullet that killed John F. Kennedy. Fully
Like,
intact.
It had no, like, it was shot from a gun or anything?
It
Just
had
like
markings that it was shot from a gun, but it didn't have markings that it went through someone's skull.
Yeah.
Right? Bullets deform when they hit things. Doesn't matter their density at all. And this bullet wasn't deformed at all. And it was widely accepted that that's the bullet that killed JFK. And it was laying next to him, like it fell out. First off, what murder ever has a bullet ever fallen out? I'm sorry, Tupac wasn't just laying in his BMW and fucking 9 bullets just like, oh, here they are. Didn't happen. That's crazy. And like, people put an uproar about this. There was a big Warren Commission. It went on and on and on, and it never was solved. Now, if it was anything less than the source itself, it would have been solved. That being said, the people who were investigating the cause most likely were the source of the cause. Obviously, that points to it. Because if it was anything less than that, it would have been at least deemed unlikely. If you ever heard of anything in the American court system, beyond a reasonable doubt, if there's a reasonable doubt, then they're not guilty. If there is any reasonable doubt at all. This Warren Commission said beyond a reasonable doubt, which all of the things that we know about this shooting are beyond a reasonable doubt. That being said, it has to be deemed likely that he wasn't the only shooter. The only reason they would say that is if they were behind it.
I'm gonna go there now.
It's crazy.
No,
I've been there like 6-7 times.
Yeah, I've been.
I used to go there as a kid.
But yeah.